Okay, I want to talk about one thing. We spoke about this off camera, and the question that I love that you gave is kind of like, what are you excited about, or what's something new? But the point for you, what is it that you're excited about this year? Because you spoke about one thing that made me so happy, seeing how happy you were talking about it, about how you did the marketing, the PR for your book. The way, I'm going to let you explain it, because creating the drink, it made me think. So we think about things now, like there's the opportunity to do anything. Yeah. Our brain is the only thing constraining us. So if you've got a thought process, putting it into action, and like you sell a book, I'm going to do a book signing, and I'm going to sit down at wherever people sit down and book signings.
You created a memory and an emotion and a feeling with your book when you gave it to them people at the con.
Absolutely. So for me, if you want to build a successful business, you need two skills. Fundamentally, you only need two skills. The first skill is, can you build something of value?
Yes.
That's the first skill. The second skill is, can you communicate that value effectively? Now, if you can do both, you've got a successful business. You've got something people want because you've got something valuable, and you are good at communicating it to the masses, and people will flock to buy it. So for me, whenever I build a product or a service, I love the marketing side of it because it brings my creativity out, and I love doing things differently. So when I talk about building an environment around you that makes it impossible not to succeed, the second layer down is to make sure that in that environment, you have diversity of thought.
Yeah.
Because let's say my environment was just comprised of fellow authors, speakers, and coaches. I mean, I'm just going to think like all of them.
Yeah,
I've got a
ceiling. Do the norm.
I'm going to do the norm, and there's going to be a limit to my possibility ceiling. But if I spend time with actors, musicians, bartenders, tech entrepreneurs, chefs, and so on, people from very diversified backgrounds, but who share similar values to me and are on a exciting trajectory, then what happens is ideas just start to bubble to the surface.
You can get inspired to do
You get inspired, but this is where you think differently. So, loads of businesses want to think innovatively, creatively, original. Now, originality doesn't happen unless you look outside of your industry. And then you bring these ideas into your own, mix it up, and you create something that has never been seen before.
Yeah.
So when we first connected, I shared the fact that in the build up to the book launch, we did some really original stuff to get the attention out to the masses. So one of those was creating a cocktail at the Connaught Hotel in London inspired by my book. And we put this cocktail together, we filmed it, we put it out on social media. So the bartender,
very well shot.
It's an insanely shot video, and the bartender put it out on his social media. I put it out on mine. So I suddenly had people from hospitality following my work, restaurateurs, hoteliers, bartenders, and my audience suddenly wanted to go to the Connaught to order this cocktail, to try this cocktail. And so that was a great partnership that raised awareness. Again, the focus was the cocktail, but indirectly it spoke about the book.
Yeah.
But it was a different way to get attention, because it wasn't just, as you said just now, it wasn't me just every post on my feed going, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book.
Plus
it was
quality.
Novelty.
Quality. Yeah. Like when sometimes I feel like a lot of products these days, because they do the norm, you just think it's the norm. But when you present something, it's like if this mug here on the table is just in a kitchen, it just looks like a mug. But if the mug is placed in a white room, beautifully shot, whoa, it looks like, what's this mug? What is it? It's what's new about it? Whereas the way you did it with the book and the cocktail, the quality, the location, the hotel itself, people want to talk about it. They want to PR it. They want to share that video, because I'm like, I'm proud to be part of that video. That
it's the association,
journey.
Isn't it? And this is, we live in a world where attention spans are getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And so what we're really playing to when we think about communication is the attention economy. How are we getting the attention and eyeballs of people to say, hey, look at this? Once you've hooked them in, then you can share the value, you can share what they're going to get and the experience. But the first step is getting that attention.
Yeah.
And this is why in marketing, I learned a term from, there's a guy called Mark Jacques Burton. He started a nightclub in Sloane Square called Tonteria. He's moved into fashion now. But he came up with this idea called UTP, which stands for unique talking points. Now, the more unique talking points you can embed into a business, the easier it becomes for whether it's prospects or customers or audiences to share it, because they can't help but talk about it.
Jot that down, guys.
So if we take his nightclub for an example, when he launched, they decided to put train tracks on the ceiling of this nightclub. It wasn't a huge space they had. It was underground of a hotel. So they had to give people a reason to come. And the nightclub industry is very
A talking
competitive.
point.
Yeah, you could choose wherever you want to go. So they had these train tracks on the ceiling of this club. So if you had a VIP table and you ordered some shots or drinks from the bar, they would put them on this toy train. They would light it on fire and it would be going around the tracks towards your table. And the people that would present it to you were dressed in Day of the Dead characters because it was a Mexican themed place. Now, can you imagine what everyone was doing in that bar at the time this happened? Photos, videos, selfies. So what it taught me
and just ordering it to see them come through.
Yeah, just to see the experience is that when you embed your business with UTPs, you don't actually need a marketing team because what happens is your audience become your marketing team.
Yeah.
They're the ones that then tell the world and evangelize to the world about your product or service. I mean, if you look at Apple, it's the same thing. They don't spend as much on ads as other of their competitors do because people just talk about them. People are evangelizing about having an Apple product. They don't have to spend a huge amount of marketing.
The story is there and the intrigue, the kind of like, I want to know more about whether it be Vision Pro or something. Like the bounce back and then that ripple effect grows beyond any marketing team could ever have imagined. And you've got the largest free unpaid workforce doing it for you. And you're like,
they do very
we
sleek
take the box
stuff.
now.
Yeah.
Very sleek. Though,
and this is the power of community, isn't it? I mean, I think when we build businesses, we don't spend enough time thinking about community. What is the community you're building?
I think that's one thing that's really good in this year moving forward. Within a small community, whether it be like my local gym or the local coffee shop, people really within that area really are valuing community. And I think within London, that's kind of approaching the way they actually, okay, this community is really good at my gym or coffee shop. And they're like, most of these people work for big, very corporate companies. And they're like, well, how can we implement this camaraderie, this, hi, can I hold the door for you? Oh, we're going to the gym social this evening. But how are they going to implement that into the larger companies? And I think that's exciting because I think people are putting value on that because they know that the attention span is so short and it's not helping anybody, that these longer stories, this proposition, like for us with like FINT that we're launching, I want to give as much value. I want to over deliver value. And they expect one thing, but get so much more. That's the goal for us launching the app, but also the education that goes along with it. More value. Because at the end of the day, giving people value is giving me value as well. Like it's to educate people and to help people is the best feeling in the world.
Absolutely. And this is what contributes to our legacy. You know, when we think about legacy, it's what we've given to the world. One of the things I tell people when it comes to me thinking long term about my own journey is that our worth as a human is determined by how much more we have given to the world than we have taken from it.
Yes, yeah.
And when you give to the world, that's what brings you meaning. It's why people are going to volunteering projects feel good.
Yeah.
Because they feel like they're giving something back to the world.
George, really, I'm going to talk about this. I wasn't going to talk about this. There's nothing about giving. It segues perfectly. So usually news stories are all down. It's like, negative, clickbait. So the story that's just come out in America, I can't remember the exact university. The lady's donated $1 billion of her Berkshire Hathaway stock to the university. The university is like, okay, how do we use this?
Sure.
Fundamentally, for the end of time now, all the people going to university, their tuition is covered.
Yeah.
And that news story has gone viral, but for a positive reason, a happiness, a transfer of energy.
She is now an official legend.
Exactly.
It's never a positive, is it? It's always a negative. And seeing that positivity, growth, and giving back, I feel like there is a change in the world this year. I feel like the positive things that we do, even with big corporate companies, it's starting to be like, not just we're greenwashing something. There is actually people behind it of doing something good.
I just believe the press should show a lot more positive stuff.
They should.
I think they should.
If they show more positive stuff, people would be more positive. There would be a better outcome in the long run. Everyone would start being better.
Okay, I'm intrigued. This question. You say you're like your passion, I can see, is marketing and the side you are who you are and the book and everything. What businesses would you want to do? What's that vision that you see in the future?
So for me at the moment, most of what I do is public speaking. So I speak at companies or conferences. I coach individuals one-on-one. I mentor people and I consult startups all the way to SMEs, sometimes bigger, about strategy, about business thinking. For me in the future, there's lots of things I've got in my head that I would love to explore. But one thing I've worked off is be attached to none of the outcomes and just enjoy the journey.
Yes.
Because if we're so attached to the outcome, what does that mean we are in the moment? Are we depressed, frustrated, anxious about the future? So for me, to give an example, I would love to, in time, do something on television about my work. I got inspired to think about this when I was in Los Angeles in September last year. And I did a fireside chat at a Hollywood members club. And a producer just said, have you thought about doing something on television? And up until that point, I'd never thought about it. But it just got me thinking. So that could be one project.
I think you'd be great doing that.
Thank you.
I think a lot of people would benefit from it as well.
Yeah, doing more stuff internationally because I did 3 cities in America last year. And it's such a different experience to the UK.
The mentality, the
Do you
thought
find
process.
there's a different mentality?
Yeah.
Think.
But
I think because they're
so different.
Yeah, they grew up with this. I mean, personal development, self-help, leadership, all of this literature and teachings began in the US. I mean, think about all the classic books we've read in these fields, mostly American. It's where this industry started. And so society over there is open to this stuff and they're naturally more entrepreneurial because they've grown up with all of this around them, whether it's the parents listen to audio tapes in the car on the commute to work, books in the parents' study about money and wealth and all of this stuff. Whereas in the rest of the world, we've taken a bit longer to catch on to embracing some of these insights. So so those are 2 of the things. And then the third thing I'm interested to explore is stuff within the AI and the metaverse and all these technological advancements to see how that can change what I do at the moment.
Just before we go anywhere, thank you very much for listening to Freedom Impact Trust. We love your feedback, so please do leave a review because it helps others find us, doesn't it, Curtis?
Yes, it does. Comment, subscribe, like, share it to a friend. Let everybody in the world know that this is the podcast that you're enjoying and let us know what you loved about it. We enjoy talking to you guys. We enjoy having fun and we can't wait to see you and hear you on the next episode.
Plus, we want to thank our sponsor, FINT, the financial investment app, making investing easy from as little as £50 a month. You guys are awesome. We love you. We're part of you.
Don't forget, it's all through 3 portfolios, AJ. Nice and simple.
I know. Have a great day.
See you later, guys.